Welcome to the Mother-Daughter-ish podcast. It's your mama's favorite podcast.
And the podcast your daughter always wanted.
This is Miss Dawn.
And Aungelique.
From the 713. Houston, y'all. Get connected and stay connected weekly as new shows debut on Sunday, Wednesday, and please check out our Saturday Out and About showcases.
Enjoy the show. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and tell every woman on the planet that you know about our show.
Here's our show for today. Before the lesson today and the video gets started, I do want to make a disclaimer. The first disclaimer I want to make is that I do not know if this is a true story, a skit, or if it is just something for hype on YouTube or through the blogosphere or whatever. So again, I do not know if this is a real story, a true story, or this was just for, you know, clout or whatever. Doesn't really matter. There's a lesson behind it, and I'm going to teach you a little bit about the lesson. So the video that we're about to listen to the audio on is all about this young lady who got, I hate to say this word, it makes me cringe, she got flued out. Again, for those of us who don't talk like that, she was flown out to a gentleman's house, apartment, whatever, so that they can hang out and she can get to know him. He's going to tell you in the video that he was talking to her every day for a whole 2 months, so 60 days. He talked to her on the phone. He flew her out where he was, and he was expecting to get everything that he thought the little ticket was supposed to afford, I guess. I'm not sure. You'll listen to what he has to say. The second disclaimer that I want to make is for those of us who don't use certain language or whatever, there's a little bit of language in here that may be discrepancy for most of you. There's the N word, there's a couple of cuss words, there's a couple of negative things that they're saying back and forth to one another. So I just wanted to give you a warning. My point is listen to the lesson that I'll talk to you about after. But in the meantime, here's the sound that I want you to listen to, and then we will get into the lesson so that you can tell all your friend girls why this is not a good idea unless certain things are put in place. Here you go.
No, you done flew all the way out. Look, she done flew all the way out here.
You really gonna record me?
No, I'm recording this shit. They need to know.
You really gonna record me?
No, they need to know. I done flew her all the way out to LA. She don't give me no cheeks.
Nigga,
We been FaceTiming. Come on, we been FaceTiming every day.
I don't give a fuck.
No, we been FaceTiming every day.
And you really taking me all the way back to the fucking airport? You really taking me back to the airport?
Yes, you going to the fucking airport. Yes, you going.
And you taking me back to the airport because of what? Tell me why.
You didn't give me no cheeks.
Nigga, I'm not fucking obligated to give you no... What?
I flew you out.
Nigga, what are you talking about? Nigga, you're lame as fuck.
No,
you're lame as fuck.
No,
you're fucking lame. You're lame. Just take me to the fucking airport. Just get me there. Just get me there.
Walk around my crib, titties out, stuff like that, taking showers in my shower.
Nigga, it's my body. What you talking about?
I don't care. You can't.
I don't have to give you my coochie. Are you okay?
No.
I don't have to give you my
coochie. Laying in my bed? No. You about to get dropped off. Nigga. At the airport.
Oh, I don't even know why the fuck I came here.
Look, she didn't want to give me no cheeks.
Nigga, get the fuck out of here. Stop recording me.
She didn't want to give me no cheeks.
Stop recording me, nigga.
Don't fly her out.
Give me the phone.
Watch out. Don't take my phone.
Stop recording me.
No. Don't fly her out. Look, don't fly her out.
Bruh, you...
She ain't talking about no cheeks. I've been FaceTiming her.
This is my cheeks, nigga. This is my ass and my coochie. What are you talking about?
I've been FaceTiming her for 2 months.
I don't have to give you no... Nigga, just get me there. I don't care, nigga. I don't care about none of that shit. I don't care about none of that shit.
Meet out on FaceTime. She been flirting and stuff. You want a free shirt? You
wanted to whip your wiener out, nigga. I ain't asked you to put it in the fucking camera.
Okay, I'm about to whip over here and drop your ass up, too.
Whatever, nigga. Just get me there. I don't even know why the fuck I came here. I don't even know why I came here.
I don't know why you came either.
You're a lame ass nigga.
You shouldn't have came.
You're a lame ass nigga. You a lame ass nigga.
You shouldn't even came. You want to do that shit. You shouldn't even came. You should have said
you can't get no coochie?
What?
You flew me out here to get coochie?
Yes. I did.
Nigga, come on.
Yes. I flew you out for the
coochie. It's cool. You're lame.
I flew you out for the coochie.
You're lame. And I will never talk to you again.
Alright, well, you ain't got to talk to me again. I'm just letting you
Nigga, just get me there.
Alright, whatever.
The fuck?
Hey, y'all about to drop her ass off.
Yeah, drop me off, nigga.
Y'all ever see her out, don't fly her out.
Drop me off, nigga. Don't worry about it.
Man,
don't worry about it.
You done. Don't care. You done. You getting dropped off.
I don't care, nigga.
Watch out.
The fuck?
That shit kind of, I'm just saying that shit.
No, you're lame.
No, I'm saying
you're
what
really
you did
lame.
was lame. No, I'm saying what you did was lame.
What was lame?
What you did.
Because I don't want to give up my coochie to
we
you.
on the phone, FaceTime
Nigga, you're weird.
Nigga, you're
weird.
I flew you out.
I don't give a fuck, nigga. I could have paid for my own shit, and I still would not have gave you no coochie. So what are you talking about?
Whatever.
Nigga, you lame as fuck. No, you lame as fuck.
I fly her out, pay for her food. She want to take a shower, walk around in my room with a towel on. But I can't get the cheeks though. I can't get the cheeks though.
You thirsty nigga. You a thirsty nigga.
Right here, Spirit Airlines.
Get me the fuck out of here.
Your little ticket at Spirit Airlines.
What you mean?
Your ass here.
What you mean pay for my little ticket at?
I paid for your ticket to get here. Who else paid for the ticket to get? I paid for it.
Nigga, whatever. Just get me out this fucking car. Cause you're lame as fuck.
Whatever. Fucking get out of my shit.
Before you fucking crash and burn us. Get me the fuck out of here. You lame ass nigga cause you ain't getting no fucking coochie.
Get out.
Nigga,
get out my car.
Whatever. Just
get out my car.
Just make sure you give me my fucking confirmation number.
What? Ain't no confirmation number.
What you mean?
Ain't no confirmation number. I cancel the flight. I cancel your flight. Buy your own ticket. You been trying to go on your cheeks? Nah.
Yeah.
It's so bad. I ain't even get your bag. Here, your bag right there.
I came here with nothing. Are you serious?
Cool. Go. I'm dead serious. You want to give me no cheeks? You got a deal.
Nigga, you're lame as fuck.
Because
you can't get no coochie.
I'm saying you gotta go. You gotta go. I'm not paying for your ticket. I'm not paying for none of that shit.
I don't care about none of that shit. You're lame as fuck.
Hey.
You can't get no pussy.
Alright, buy your own ticket. Buy your own ticket. Buy your own ticket. She gotta buy her own ticket now. Fly yourself out. I done flew her ass out. Now she don't want to give me no cheeks. You feel me? I done flew her out. Paid the money there for what? Flights is high. She don't have no cheeks. Now, fuck that, bro. She gotta go.
Okay, so you just heard that audio, and I know there are some of you who listened to it and you are completely appalled. You're like, Claudia, you're in this world. Y'all see that photo I have up there? It says catch flights, not feelings. And that is exactly what should have happened. I just want to really go through with you everything that should have been a red flag from the fact that, I mean, she allowed him to fly her out in 60 days. The danger, I guess I go back to the stranger danger and all of that, would have probably freaked me out to the point that I would have never been a good candidate anyway. The stranger danger of it all. That's all I can say. But you heard it. And so let's run through it right quick, because I know you're probably appalled. Like, what did I just hear? So I'm going to say the first tip, just get clear about everything. Get very clear about what it is that you're expecting once you get together. Have it understood what's expected. Have it understood, this is what we're doing once I get there, and you together as a group, you know, you the girl, he the guy on guy, girl on guy, whatever y'all doing nowadays, I don't care. Whoever flies whoever out, the person who's being, as they say, flued out, for us normal talking folks, whoever's being flown out needs to be clear with the person about, here's what we're going to do. So we're going to maybe check out some new restaurants. I'm going to let you know where I booked my hotel. I'm not going to give you the hotel room, of course, when I get there, but I'll tell you, what hotel I'm in and all of that. And, I'll try to stay as close to your zip code. I'll stay as close to your zip code as I can. I don't need the full address, those type of things, but need to get a clear understanding first, because see, that's the root right there of all misunderstanding, is not asking certain questions and getting an understanding before you even get on the flight. Because literally, once you get on that flight, what happens is that you have already now put your life in danger. You only have known this person for 60 days. You don't know anything about them, but guess what? In the end, which may be too late, they'll show you exactly who they are. Man, woman, don't matter. I'm not judging if a man flies out a woman or a woman flies out a man. So just a question that you want to ask is, I mean, you need to first be saying, okay, so I'm going to fly out to see you. We've agreed on these dates and everything. I've already checked the flights over here. I'm not flying Spirit, by the way. I know that that was the cheapest flight possibly, but I'm going to fly, whoever else you want to fly, because there are just a lot of people who won't fly Spirit, but I'm not going to say Spirit is all that bad. If that's all you can get is Spirit, then you fly Spirit. Do you, whatever you want. Get the prices together of what it's going to cost for all the days you're going to be staying in the hotel. Get the prices for the flight round trip, of course. Also add in, if this person is always telling you they like the way you look and everything, maybe they can afford to spend money on some new outfits, a new hairstyle, or maybe some grooming things that you want to do extra so you can look your maximum once you get there. And since they asked you out to their location, it's just like if you ask me to dinner, you're paying for dinner. So that's just the way it is. Little something to throw in there. If you need a rental car, get that too. Because I don't know, in my mind, I just feel like if a dude put you in an Uber, he don't really like you like that. If a dude put you in an Uber, he don't like you like that. He don't like you think he like you. That's just my opinion, and I'm a little biased, and I'm older, so So anyway, you need to get whatever funding that you need for the flight, for the hotel, for the car, etc. Maybe a new look, a new hairdo, whatever, so you can look so good for that person. Because we always want to look good for anyone that we're associating with. So you need to say, for example, if the flight is $600 and the rental car is $300 for the week, that's $600, $700, $800, $900, and then you got to get a hotel. That's going to be $1,100. They need to send you the $4,000 right now. If they can't afford to do that, then you can fly me out at another time, maybe when you can afford it. But if that's what the cost is, that's what it costs. But so what happens, and you already heard in that audio, what happened is he bought her a flight. And then he had the authority, because he paid for it, he had the authority to go back in, and he canceled her returning home flight, which you can do. You can cancel a returning home flight if you have the authority, because he booked it on his his computer with his credit card and all that stuff. So that's the thing. You don't want anybody to be in control of when you can leave, because you can get somewhere, but you don't want them to be in control of when you can leave. Then that way, also, once you have the funding, then you can rent the car in your name, and then you can turn the car back in, and then everything's good. You can, get back to the airport safe and back to your house safe. But I just find it very strange that you could be talking to somebody in 60 days, and then all of a sudden you're going to be flown out to their location, not knowing if they're the killer or not. See, I be thinking about the killer. I don't be thinking about, oh, he's so nice, oh, he's so sweet, oh, he paid for this and he flew me to, was he the killer? Because see, if you kill me, I ain't gonna get to enjoy nothing. Hope y'all understand. And I'm coming from an old school. Let me also throw that in there. I'm coming from an old school standpoint of this would not be my thing. Number 2, do not stay in the same place as the person who invited you out. Here's the deal. Once somebody gets you into their space and they can close the door and lock it, they pretty much can do whatever they want to do to you. You don't ever want to put yourself in that kind of situation, because once you put yourself in that situation, you may end up never seeing your family again, your kids again. Your life may change forever. And even if they don't kill you, they could do something to you worse that will ruin the rest of your good life that you thought you had ready. Okay. So don't stay in the same space as the stranger. I don't care how nice they are on the phone, but there are people that get killed and never heard from again. And the person maybe didn't give them the right name, and you didn't drop your location to nobody, so they don't know where you were. So don't stay in the same space. And even if you do, like I just said, have 2 or 3 friends that you can drop your location to, or family member or somebody you can drop your location to, and that way they can know everywhere you are. And if they care about you enough, they'll check on you every hour or 2 or whatever to make sure you're moving around and you're at certain locations. I know my daughter was showing me on her phone one day. I was saying, well, where's so-and-so? How's she doing? She was like, oh, she's fine. She looked on her phone. She said, oh, she's sitting at Chick-fil-A right now by the window facing Highway 6. I was like, what? She said, here, let me show you. So she was showing me how the location will tell you exactly where the person is and where their positioning is. So that is something that you want to do, is you want to drop your location to a friend or family, so that if something happens to you and they say, well, the last time she had activity was over at the bar, and ever since then her phone has been sitting in one location. By the time they find your phone and realize it was in the dumpster, then now we know you've been missing for 3 or 4 hours, because your phone was on you all day long. You went here, you went there. By the way, the phone saves all of that stuff. So you can literally do a backtracking private investigation type of thing to see, well, they did this, she got up, she was at his location, this is the address, they went here, they went there, they had breakfast, they had drinks. All of a sudden at 4 o'clock, her activity stopped, and we haven't heard from her. She hasn't texted and said she's okay or nothing, or he, whatever, he, she, whatever. Also, I personally feel like 2 months is not long enough to spend time with somebody. Now, there are some extenuating circumstances, because he did say, we've been on FaceTime for 2 months and I've been showing you my meat. Now, see, she kept talking to him. So I'm thinking the meat was adequate. And if those of you listening don't know what meat is, don't worry about it. But anyway, he showed her the meat, and she must not have shown him anything, because he didn't say, I've been showing you my meat and you've been on there. But no, he never said that. So it sounds to me like, she was smart enough to get him to show her what he would possibly have been working with, which is still not an invitation. You can ask to see the meat, ladies and men, whoever wants to see meat, you can ask to see it without partaking in it. Don't ask me how that works, but it does. I really think you need to know a person just a little bit longer before you're staying in the same space of a hotel, or you're getting on an airplane to go see them. I'm really, really weird about space and being in the same space with strangers. It's kind of like when you go to a hotel event and there's a lot of people around. And I used to go to a lot of events. I'm not going to say the group, but I used to go to a lot of events, maybe 3 or 4 of their events a year. And we would fly all over the world to these different events. And boy, I tell you, it was nothing but a hook up time. Not for me, but a lot of people were hooking up, and a lot of married people who had left their spouses back at the house. If only they knew how much hooking up was going on in these events, and how many folks woke up the next morning looking at each other to never see each other again, because they went back to their husband and wife. A lot was going on. I'm gonna leave it alone, because I might fool around and accidentally say the name of the group. I do. Holy Spirit, activate. He did say that he flew her out specifically so that he could sleep with her. He said she was all in his house or apartment. He just said, in my house, taking showers. So obviously you have to get naked to take a shower. He said she was all sleeping in his bed, all on social media while she was there. I guess posting pictures, girl, he flew me out, whatever, however they talk. He did say also that you all in my shower and coming out with just towels on. See, this is where I have a hard time supporting the person who got flew out, is because if you're in a stranger's house, you don't know him, you don't know if he's a rapist. Just because he don't have a record don't mean he ain't been raping for 20 years. He just ain't got caught. So you're in his house, you got a towel on, I'm assuming with barely anything or nothing under. And if he was to just take advantage of you and just take it, then you would go to the cops and say he raped you or whatever. Not that because you're in his house with a towel on and you're naked that he is entitled to anything, because no one is entitled to anything that you have not offered or given to them. My point is, you put yourself in situations that are not good for you when you do those type of things. That is my point. So then it begs to, if I was your attorney, and I got a hold of all this information and you agreed that you did this, my question would be, why did you put yourself in that situation? And then I need to know why you put yourself in that situation. And if you couldn't give me a good enough reason, I wouldn't represent you, because simply you can't tease some people like you can tease others. Some people have an issue that they cannot be teased, that they will take action whether you want them to or not. And so you just never should put yourself in that situation. I know when I was young, I never did. I never did that. I never go on no date by myself with people. It was always double dating. I'd never left no club with nobody. It was not going to happen, as far as like being alone with men I just met, or even men I knew for 6 months. I wasn't going to be just alone with you. You know what? I kind of think I got that from growing up. And when my mom allowed me to date, well, I can't really call it dating because I couldn't go nowhere, because I started talking to the same person that I ended up marrying. I started talking to him at 14 years old, but we wasn't going nowhere. We wasn't doing that. Now she barely let him walk me home from school, or him drive me home from school, or anything like that. Mostly it was walk me home from school. And we didn't get a chance to go on our first date to the movie theater to see Dirty Dancing. Yes, I remember everything, until I was 16 years old. And then unfortunately, I had to have my sister go with me, which was the worst thing in the world, to have your sister go with you. You can't even hold hands or hug or nothing without being snitched on, of course, because, you know, some people just snitches. But anyway, so I think my integrity on that comes from, I'm thankful that's what my mom taught me, is that you don't put yourself in situations where you could end up being taken advantage of. Because just because you know that person doesn't mean that they don't have a right now type of mentality, like, I'm not going to wait for you, I'm going to take what I want. Because you don't know how people react once they've been put under certain pressures. You just don't know. And number three, I'm gonna just say clearly, this trip is for us to see if we like each other in person. See, it's different when you're talking to people on the phone, and I get it. We have Zoom, we have StreamYard, we have FaceTime. We got, he said their mode of preference that they talked for 60 days, 2 months, was on FaceTime. But there's nothing like a face-to-face energy transfer. We can talk on the phone for a year, but and see, this is how the Tinder swindler and all of these other people that I've been warning you about for the last year, this is how they got the women. They talked sexy to them on the phone. They told them exactly what they wanted to hear. Again, some of them popped out the meat. Some of the women were showing their breasts, just different things, fugazi things that you do on the computer that you can get away with because it's easy to do. This type of behavior, would you do it in person? Would you just meet somebody and pull your meat? I know, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I have met people when I used to go to the clubs in my 20s and stuff. You could be dancing on the floor with dudes and they would whip their thing out to let you see what they working with. I was never turned on by that. I ain't gonna tell you I didn't look, because I did. Of course I looked. But that to me wasn't a turn on, because my first thought was, you showed it, probably everybody in the club, everybody know what you're working with. Okay, great. Good job, sir. Great job. Great job. You've been eating your Wheaties. Good job. So I think you should say, I just want to be clear before I buy these tickets that you've sent me the money to purchase. I just want to be clear that I'm coming out to visit you because I like you and I want to get to know you better. We've been talking for 60 days now. And what a better time to know if we really like each other so we don't waste each other's time. And then you can decide if you really want to court me or exclusively date me, or either, us just be friends or whatever. See, I'm old fashioned, so you might not want to listen too much to me, because I still believe in being courted. I still believe in exclusivity. I still believe in monogamy. I believe in all of that. And without all of that, we ain't together. We just friends. That's just the way that's going to be right there. But if you don't say that, and I'm going to take it even further, say it in a text message so you have proof. So if this person kills you or does something to you, rape you, whatever, if they take advantage of you, you'll have proof that you were very clear. This is not what you came out for, because y'all don't live in the same area. that person asked you to come out so that you guys can meet, because I promise you there is nothing like a face-to-face meeting and the energy transfer that you can get from that. It is just different. Okay, so say it very, very clearly. Again, put it in a text message. And even if you just have to be coy about it, let them know that there will be no physical touch during this time. You know, you can even play a game with it if you want to. You can say, you know, this time we get together, because I hope we get together many more times. Maybe next time you come to my hometown. But I just want you to know, for this first get together, there will be no physical touch. Now, if you want to hold my hand as we walk, that's fine. If you want to kiss me, you can kiss me on the cheek or the hand or something like that. But we won't be touching lips or bump. I'm not going to say that. We won't be engaging in any type of physical activity. I almost said bumping uglies, but I did not. Anyway, that ain't gonna be happening. All right, number 4, you have to watch the signs. If he's showing you his meat, or if she's showing you her breast or whatever, make sure you follow it up with, oh wow, you know, if it's nice, just say, oh wow, that's nice. You know, now we get together, you know, we're not going to be doing all that. We're going to just really try to get to know each other, see if we really like each other and where we can take this further. You know, I'm coming to see you this time, maybe you come to see me next time, or guess what, we meet in a remote location. Let me tell y'all something. I was dreaming the other night, and the love of my life that I would marry today in a heartbeat, the love of my life, I dreamed that we finally met. And see, the thing about me is, once you meet me, I'm contagious. But when you don't know me, you don't know me. But when you meet me, I'm contagious. I just want you to let y'all know that. Just drop that right quick, just in case he's listening. But anyway, I'm for real. But I dreamed that we decided, okay, let's take 2 weeks to get to know each other. I didn't want to go to his state, and I didn't want him to come to my state. So remember, y'all, this is a dream. This is a dream. So this is not for real. This is a dream. I had this dream 3 times already, exact same way, maybe more than 3 times. So he said, well, where would you like to meet at? And I was like, well, I always wanted to go to Tahiti. He said, okay, let's go to Tahiti. So the tickets were booked in both of our names and everything. I got the confirmation. I got everything, you know, all the paperwork that I needed. And we went to Tahiti. And the first 3 days, we just got to know each other, talking and everything. We stayed in the same house that had 2 bedrooms and a butler. And the butler was there 24 hours. So it's kind of like we had a person in. I don't know why I was like this in a dream. I guess just because this how my mind set up. The butler was there all the time, because they were there to cook, they were there to clean, they were there to kind of almost be like our guardian or whatever, because you know that was the way the house thing was set up. So we were never alone in the house, basically, because we didn't sleep in the same room, because it was a 2-bedroom. So anyway, don't even ask me where that butler slept. I don't know if it was another quarter. All I know is the person was never there, because again, in this dream I could see all this. So anyway, the first 3 days we were asking all kinds of questions. You know, we went through the, you know, gamut of, you know, like, what do you want? And, you know, talk about, you know, past relationships, blah, blah, blah. You know, what type of relationship you see yourself in the future, you know, how you feel about this, that. I mean, just the gamut of all questions all the way to the end of the trip. And it was just a really great way to get to know each other, that we ended up in this dream. Again, this is a dream, that after the week was up, we extended it a whole nother week, because we still had more to get to know about each other. In the end, we ended up getting married in the end in Tahiti. And then we came back to the United States and had to tell our kids and our families. And then we ended up getting married in the United States of America. So, you know, dreams get wild. And so that's why in the beginning, you heard me say there are extenuating circumstances. Like, if you already know this is the person you want, you already been waiting to meet this person, you know, you've known of this person more than 60 days, of course, that, you know, situations are different. But in this particular situation that we are talking about, she should have picked up on some of the signs of his immaturity. I don't know about you listeners and your viewers that are looking right now. I happen to be a person who cannot stand immature people, period. It's one of the reasons why I don't play with children. When I say play with them, I mean I don't like disrespectful children. I don't care if it's yours or mine. I don't like them. And it's another reason why I don't play with immature adults, because unpredictable people I don't like to be around, because you just never know what situation they're going to end up putting you in for your safety. So I don't hang around those type of people, because unpredictable people can put you in a situation that you're like, I didn't even mean to be that person, but because you put me in this situation, I had to turn in to that person. Kind of reminds me of the Incredible Hulk. You know how he be just minding his own business, be trying to save people, be trying to take care of things, be just trying to save the women and do all kind of stuff, and then somebody come along and tick him off, and then he be trying to fight against, turning into the green monster. He's like, I just got on my regular clothes, why y'all messing with me? Oh my God. So now you want to do this too. And then all of a sudden you see he can't take the pressure anymore. He's so mad and he's in such a rage that he just want to kill everybody. So then he busts out of his clothes. The Incredible Hulk was so sexy to me. I used to dream when I was a kid that I was going to marry the Incredible Hulk, but not Lou Ferrigno, the man, but the green Incredible Hulk. Okay, that's too much information. But anyway, let me keep going, because boy, I got a little excited right now. Okay, ooh, Jesus. Father God, help me. But anyway, that my example is just that people do stuff and make you turn into other things that you don't want to be. I hope y'all got that example and just ignored the other parts. I'm just trying to make an example here of what I'm talking about. He said, for example, the guy in the audio that y'all heard, he said he was on the phone with her for 60 days on FaceTime, and he said, I was showing you my meat and everything on FaceTime. My question is, did she ask to see it, or did he just whip it out? My question is, when he whipped his out, did she show him some breast or something? My question is, did she comment on the meat and say, I sure would like to? There's a lot of context here that you and I are never going to know, because we were not on those FaceTime calls. So ladies, look, we know why he showed her the meat, and she know why she looked at it. If there's fellas listening to this call, you need to know, if we ask you to whip it out, it ain't because we want it right now. It's because we trying to see if you even adequate for later. You ain't gonna like that I said that, but I said it. And for the women who just heard me say that, and you say, what do you mean you see people meet before you get? Every time. Every time. You don't just surprise. No. That'd be just like, anyway. So fellas, if a woman asks you to let her see it, it ain't because she want it right now. It's just that she's trying to see if you're even adequate, because if it ain't even worth her time, pretty sure all conversation is going to be cut off immediately. So you need to know that the purpose is not because we're ready to hop on or anything like that. It's just because people want to see, and that's just the way the real world go. And all of you folks that are judging what I just said, it's probably because you don't want to admit you've asked somebody to see their meat in advance and graded it and decided and made decisions based on that. Now, you can lie if you want to, that's fine, I don't care. But that's just really the way that works. Again, clarity. This number 5. Again, I repeated this. Clarification needs to be sent through text. Not after you book the tickets and they're already anticipating you coming and already done told all their homeboys, yeah, I'm flying out so-and-so. Yeah. She gonna be here on Tuesday. She gonna stay for a week. We're gonna do this, boom. I'm gonna give me a little, I'm spending under $1,000 to get a quote unquote quality woman to come out and see me. I mean, the tickets wasn't but $150. So I'm probably spending, let's just say he say, I'm barely spending $200 to get her out of here, because okay, she come and she already in the form of which I like. She's a woman. She got the body I want. She talked nice to me on the phone. We've been talking for 60 days. I kind of got to know her a little bit. I listen to what she have to say. She's a hardworking woman. She seemed to be a cool girl. She don't look like she got nothing, because people say stupid stuff like that. She don't look like she have anything. And then you only spent $230 on the ticket. So essentially, You're getting a woman to come and spend a week with you for $230 because you're going to feed her. You're going to let her stay in your house. You're going to drive her around in your car. You're going to think in your mind that you're sleeping with her all 7 of those days. That's what you think in your mind for $230. Come on, guys. If you was married to that woman, you would spend more money than that. If you were married to her, you'd spend more money. If she was your girlfriend, you'd spend more money than that. If she was a girl you were pursuing seriously because you valued her, you'd spend way more money than that. So I don't even respect the man who think he can buy a $250 or $600 ticket and think you're going to get all of those benefits. See, ladies, this is why I don't date people. The reason I don't date people is because they want wife benefits on a friend budget. They don't even count you as their exclusive girlfriend. They look at you as just, we cool, we kicking it, we doing this. No, you have to really know your value. Somebody just told me at my class reunion, he said, so how soon you trying to get married? I said, well, when I meet the right person or the person that I want to be with, there is no time limit on it, because I'm not interested in long drawn out dating. Well, no, you got to date. I said, no. I'm your friend until I'm your wife. I'm not your girlfriend. I'm not your old lady. I'm not kicking it with you. I'm not sleeping with you. I'm not being in your space like I'm your wife. I'm your friend until I'm your wife. And if I'm your friend and we're just platonic and that never is a thought, then that's the way we're going to keep it. And I'm not going to be in your space like that. We just kick it on the phone or whatever. We see each other in an event or whatever. But if I'm your friend and you're looking at, she could potentially be my wife, then we're having different conversations. But no, you're not getting wife benefits on a $230 ticket. Forget it. Number 6, listen. Do not incite an argument with these people. You heard them arguing and she was calling him all those words. She kept telling him he was a lame, you know what? She kept telling them, you can't get none from nobody. I mean, she just really was inciting. And now I'm gonna be honest with you, the whole time I was, and by the way, the whole video with the pictures, video, and everything is on World Star. I'm gonna put the links in the description here, so you're gonna be able to see the links from that. I also saw a video on Support Court, and they talked about somebody being flown out and how they had a discrepancy. I'm gonna put all those links in the description. Don't worry about that. Listen, all I could think of when I was looking at the video is him pulling out a knife and just stabbing her up for talking to him and embarrassing him and calling him lame. Because, you know, some people, some little boys, immature men, some little boys cannot take you clowning them. Clowning them mean calling them a fool, literally calling them a clown, talking bad to them. Some people cannot take that. But when I was looking at the video, I was so scared for the girl. I thought, oh my God, all he has to do is pull out a gun and shoot her. All he has to do was push her out of the car. All he has to do is stab her. All he has to do is take his fist and punch her. Like, all I could see was violence because of the exchange and the energy that they were passing back and forth. It really scared me just from me being an outsider looking in. So I'm going to encourage you, for number 6, I'm going to encourage you not to incite any kind of arguments or anything. The best thing she could have done is, oh, so because I didn't do this and this, you're taking me back to the airport? Oh, okay. And I would have got in the car with my bag and I wouldn't have said nothing all the way to the airport. He could have said everything because he was videoing her anyway. He didn't put himself in the video, but he put her in the video. All I would have said when I got ready to get out the car is open the trunk to give me my bag. I wouldn't have said nothing to the man because all I'm thinking about is my life. And I would have been texting my friends everything that happened up to that moment. And like she said, she came there with nothing. She came there broke. And I would have been calling all 50 of my friends, trying to get all of them to give me $10 so I can get a flight on Spirit for 160 to get back home or whatever. I wouldn't have said a word. And then I'm hoping she learned a lesson from this. But a side note, he said, I flew you out and he canceled the going back ticket. He said, I flew you out for sex. Yes, I flew you out for sex. I was talking to you for 2 months and showing you my meat and everything. So I'm showing you what I got to work with, and you came anyway. So in my mind, that tells me basically you like what you saw. That's basically what I'm summing up, that when he said we was on the phone for 2 months on
He said we was on the phone on FaceTime for 2 months, and I showed you my meat and everything. What I heard after that in my mind, he didn't say this, I said this in my mind. I showed you my meat and everything, and so obviously you were okay with it. So I thought when you came out here, it was on. So my question, I go back to the beginning and say, when he showed her the meat, what did she do and what did she say? Did she show him her breast? Did she say, "Oh, that's nice"? Did she say, "Oh, I can't wait to see it in person"? Like, what kind of? He also said they have been flirting with each other. He did say we've been flirting and everything, but he never said she showed him anything. He never said she said, "Yes, I'm gonna get that when you get me over there." She never said he never said she commented on she liked it. He never said that she showed him anything in it, so he booked the flight with his money and his credit card, so he also had the right to unbook the way home. And the fact that he really didn't care if she was going to get home or not, because she said, "I came here with nothing." Girls, don't do that. Ladies, don't do that. Don't go nowhere with nothing. I had an event today that I went to this morning, and I went to a location. I'm like, okay, I've never been here before. I don't feel like looking at the menu because I already knew I don't like the location food anyway. But I figure, okay, I could probably get something. I mean, even if it's just French fries, I can get something that was at a barbecue place. And I was like, I cannot stand their barbecue. It's so nasty. It just makes me I just want to close them down myself. And I'm not even the health department, but their barbecue is nasty. But I ain't gonna say their name. But I knew that I put cash in my purse. I put my credit card and my ID, and that's all I had in my lacrosse body. I didn't need anything else because I know I wasn't spending more than $5 there. But my point was to go into, hang out with my car group people and meet some new people that live way out in that area of town, because we try to get to every area of Houston, so we go out into all of the suburbs. We go to Kemah, we go to Beaumont, we go not Beaumont, but out toward Beaumont, which is like Paiton. We go everywhere because we have drivers everywhere. But I took me some money and I said, okay, I'm gonna take some cash. I'm gonna get my car is filled to the brim, so I'm good on gas. I don't need money for that. But I'm gonna take me some cash because I'm gonna take $20 in ones because I'm gonna spend about $5 on food. And then if I want to get me some snacks before I come in, I got money for that. I'm gonna take my credit card just in case something happens and I need to pay for something bigger, or in case you might get somewhere and they may say, "Hey, we're all chipping in money, for blah blah blah." I can say, "Okay, let me cash app you or whatever." Send the money electronically. So it just was for my safety. So I could have literally left my house with only my ID. I didn't need anything or want anything, but just as a safety precaution, I did take what I needed with me for the day. So always take some extra funds with you, just so you don't have to then put your friends now in a situation where they're trying to get you home. But because she could have flew out Spirit for under $200, hopefully she had a couple of friends that she could borrow some money with until she got her next money coming in from wherever she gets her money from. Because you don't want to get somewhere and then you can't get home. Imagine if he would have said, "Meet me in Mexico, let's get together on a tropical island." It's a little bit more difficult trying to get back from a foreign country. So you don't want to play those games. Good thing in my dream in Tahiti, it turned out all good. And what was so cute about it, listen. This was so cute about it in the dream where me and the person went to Tahiti, is that by day number 3, he was like, "I knew you was going to be my wife." And then by day number 4, we were talking about getting married or whatever. By the end of the trip, he was like, "The jeweler is going to be here in the morning. I think we should get married on the island while we're here, and then we'll tell our families when we get back." And then I was like, "The who is on the way?" And so he flew in the personal jeweler so I could pick my engagement ring out. But so this is how far the dream went. What ended up happening is that I ended up picking out the band of the ring, and then having him to custom, because I want a custom made ring with me and my husband's name on the bottom of it and the heart and all that stuff, and the year that we got married and the date and all that stuff. So he had to custom make the ring. So that was my ring when I got back to the United States. But while we're in Tahiti, I just had the diamond band, and then the ring would go to it when I got back to the United States. So let me tell y'all something. That dream was real detailed, but it was just a dream. Sometimes I be telling myself I play too much, but I ain't playing. I'm serious. I've had that dream so many times now. The number 7, I'm gonna tell you, don't be teasing people. Do not tease people because it can incite violence. Some people can't take being teased like that. They will literally haul off and hit you, kill you, do whatever they need to do to make themselves feel better. So don't be teasing people. She called him lame. You are this, you are that, you are N-word. You know, she cussed. She said, you're effing lame, you're this lame, you're so lame. She said lame like so many times. She aggressively looked at him like, literally when she was looking at him, I was thinking she was calling him an F boy. You know, she was like looking at him like, you're disgusting. It was like, to me, she said, you're a broke F boy that's dumb, stupid, and ridiculous. Like, I just felt like her look gave him such degradation, just of like, you're more disgusting than what's under the bottom of my shoe. I hope by listening to that audio, y'all get that this is happening in the world, mothers and daughters. This is happening to women and men all the time. There are women who get men in their space and expect for these men to do all these performance gymnastic things to them with a $200 it makes me laugh to think that people think they can own your body, your mind, your energy, your transfer of energy for 200. And I'm not saying that there's a cost attached to it. What I'm saying is, don't insult me with the cost you think you want to attach to me. Let me tell y'all this story. One time, I ain't gonna say the dude's name, but one time this guy liked me real hard, like when I was in my 20s, before I had my second child. This guy liked me like real bad. And I would not give this man the time of day. He was too soft for me. And I don't mean soft in a girl way, but I mean he just didn't have the strength that I like in a man. I'll put it like that. He didn't have the authority. Okay. He didn't have the authority that I like in a man. Like, for example, when Jill Scott said, if you can tell me what to do, then you can tell me what to do. But there are just not a lot of men on this planet that I could ever say could tell me what to do. In my lifetime, maybe two. And that is it. So this dude was soft to me. He was too giddy behind me. He was too everything. And I kept saying, no, I'm not going out with you. He was like, well, bring your cousin and she can go out with whoever her boyfriend is. And if y'all need to bring two, he was like, I'm not trying to get you alone or do anything weird, or we could go to a public place, get your cousin and her friends, and we can go to the gallery and go to dinner, and we can go hang out or whatever. We all go in the same car together. You bring your friends, I'll bring, myself. And if your cousin need an extra date, I mean, I got a homeboy. And I just was like, no, I'm not. But I was very, of course, upfront and saying, no, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in you. You are not my guy. And he kept saying, what do you mean? I'm like, I know who my guy is. Like, not specifically, but I know who would work well for me, and you're not it. And so I didn't say it in a nasty way. I was smiling when I said it. I was looking happy when I was saying it. I was like, holding his arm when I said it. Cause I want him to know I prefer to just keep you as a distant friend, not even a friend. Don't be calling me and everything like that. And he knew where we lived, so he would just pop up at the house with like roses. He would pop up at the house with flower decorations. He would pop up at the house with gifts and shoes and purses. And I eventually said to him, listen, I don't want to go on a date with you. Some kind of way, my cousin convinced me, like, if you go on a date with him, maybe he will leave you alone. She said, just like order the most expensive thing, treat him real, real nice, but just let him understand he cannot afford you. He can't afford the conversation. He can't afford you financially. He can't afford to take care of your family, because I already had a child. He can't afford to pay your way. He can't afford to house you. He can't afford to clothe you, feed you, care for you. So what I do, listening to my cousin, she got her a date which was his cousin, and she liked him. This wasn't no forced thing. She liked him. And we all go out to dinner. We get out to dinner and we order food, stuff we ate, not being stupid or anything. But he was like, everybody, order what you want. It's on me because I'm just so happy this woman gave me a date out. I'm paying for everybody food. So that meant his cousin, my cousin, me, and him. I'm so excited. He was just so excited. He was like a 15-year-old child that was just happy to finally get a scooter for their birthday. He wasn't my guy, is all I can say. And so we go out to dinner, and then when the bill comes around, he looked like, oh shoot. I mean, it's all cash back in the day in the 90s. It's all cash. Anybody thinking about debit cards because it wasn't, the thing. The bill come around and he get this big look like he whispered something in his cousin's ear. His cousin was like, yeah, he had something, but he ain't have something. He had something for him and his date, but he ain't had something for the whole table. I can't even remember what restaurant we went to. Landry's? I'm not sure. It was in the Galleria. But anyway, because back in the day, dudes would think if they took you to the Galleria, oh my God, you're gonna fall in love. No, I'm not that girl. So anyway, the bill comes around. Oh man, I guess he ain't bring that much money. And again, debits and all that stuff wasn't a thing that people did. So here's what we did. Because my cousin, we said, okay, we need to go to the bathroom. So you know how girls always go to the bathroom together, because we wanted them to talk about it, because I could tell something was crazy. So we went to the bathroom. My cousin say, okay, this is what we gonna do. We gonna pay for the meal, and then you act like you're so offended. Then he'll never call you again, because now he has offended you, and you ain't that girl. She's like, we got the money, we can pay for it. So we came back to, I was like, oh my gosh, she's so smart. Because all I wanted to do is to just get rid of him, really, because he was so nice that I didn't want to hurt his feelings, because I'm not going to incite violence. I mean, I don't know who this guy could have turned into, and I wasn't waiting around to see. So anyway, we get back to the table, and was like, okay, well, we need to get home because, her daughter has to go to school in the morning, and we need to be out, which we really was lying, because we went to the club 6 days a week, and that was one of the nights. So we had to be back to the house at 9 so we could refresh, redress, and re-go. So we get back to the house, we get back to the table, and we go, everything okay? He's like, yeah, well, man, I hate to say this, but I'm a little bit short on the thing. My cousin looked at me, I looked at her, I said, don't worry about it. So my cousin got the bill out of his hand. She didn't snatch it, she just took the bill out of his hand, and she said, oh, that ain't no problem. She showed it to me. We put all the money under the table where our purse was. We counted out everything plus a tip for the waiter, and we put the money down on the table. And the embarrassment on his face and his cousin's face, and his cousin say, man, you ain't never seeing her again. You can forget it. And I didn't say nothing, and my cousin didn't say nothing. We put our little purse on our shoulder, flipped our little wig. We didn't wear wigs back then. We flipped our little hair, and we were like, okay, y'all, we got to get home, because the babysitter is waiting for us to get back so she can do what she needs to do before she has to come back in 2 hours, to hang out with the kids. We didn't say because we had to go somewhere. We said, hang out with the kids, because they didn't know if she was going to be bringing her kid, or they don't know. We don't talk like that. Oh my God, the guy was so embarrassed. So the next day, so we get home, we do what we gonna do. We go out. The next day, this courier comes by to bring this huge thing of flowers with this apology card in there. The card had money in it to cover the bill for last night. I never responded. I never said anything. He never popped up at the house. He was so embarrassed. Back then we had beepers, pagers. So he was beeping me, and I never will return the call. But his cousin said the right thing at the table. He said, man, you ain't gonna never see this woman again. So the fun part in that is that I never had to see this person again, because you played yourself. I told you I didn't want to go out with you. I went ahead and tried to be nice and go. And then look what happened. You then quickly realized you cannot afford me. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm just saying that sometimes you need to play on your own playing field so that these type of things don't happen. And I didn't need to go to the Galleria, to the restaurant. That's where you said you wanted to take me. So, okay, let's go. You want to break your bank? Let's break it. That's up to you. The bottom line is make sure you get your money up front. If you want to be flown out, that is your choice. If you're an adult over 21, I never say over 18 because saying adult at 18 to me don't even sound right. So anyway, if you're over 21 years old, you make your own decisions, you pay your own bills. Nobody has to look after you, and you decide you want to be flown out. Okay, great. But make sure you get the money for the ticket, the rental car, and the hotel. You can figure out how to get something to eat. Don't worry about that. But make sure you get your money for the things that you need, so that when you book the ticket, it's on your credit card, on your time, on your airline account. And if you want to extend it, cancel it, or whatever, you can do that. Be courteous though, and send them, you know, what dates and times you booked everything, what flight you're going to be on, and all that. So at least they know, you know, you didn't just take their money and try to get over with them and get over with their cash. And then that'll be very, very clear. 60 days, by the way, is not enough time to think that you can get to know someone. 60 days is a great time though to start talking about some other things, and whatever those things are is what you choose. But 60 days is just barely anything. Now, if you take it a little further on 60 days, because this is how I look at it. If I've known you for 60 days and we've spent every single day together in each other's space, if I've met your family, I know who your kids are. I've met, you know, your kid's mom, if you have any kids. If I've met your little favorite nephew, if I've met your father and your, you know, if I've met your family and I fit in so good, this is what I'm talking about when I say the energy transfer. If I fit in so good with your family that it feels like we've been knowing each other for 6 years, that's different. But if we only been on FaceTime for 60 days, you whipped out your meat and now you invite me out. Nah, not so much. Be careful who you allow in your personal space and whose space you allow yourself in. You know, by right, if he wanted to have a rebuttal, he would say, but you've been flirting with me on FaceTime. You allowed me to fly you out. You allowed me to let you stay in my house. You walked around my house semi-naked because you had a towel on. You know, you laid all up in my bed and everything with your nightgown on, or your short, you know, your booty shorts or whatever. We ate together. We did everything. You know, you treated me like I was your butler or on your staff. And when I mentioned that, you know, I wanted to, I ain't gonna say the words he said about the cheeks, but when I mentioned that I wanted to, you know, have physical contact with you, you didn't stop me. You teased me still. Even so, you let me sleep real close to you at nighttime in the bedroom, and we didn't do nothing. But I'm gonna give you 1 day on that, and then you got to go home because that's too much teasing. And you know, when you tease somebody, there's only so much they can take. Think about it. We're just humans. Every one of us. There's just only so much we can take. Last thing I have to say is the person that they show you in the end, that's the person they always were. Did you notice that in the end, he talked about her? He said, if you ain't doing this, then you ain't good for nothing, basically. I flew you out here for sex. I showed you what I had to work with on FaceTime. You didn't say nothing. You knew what it was when I flew you out here. When she said, oh, you can't get none or something. He said, no, I've been flying women out here and I get whatever I want and I send them back home. You came out here thinking you ain't going to do nothing. These people are not playing like that no more. And I'm going to tell you why they're not playing like that no more. Because there are so many women who are allowing them to fly them out for $40. And then they go home. And I haven't been able to really interview any of the women to find out what is it that they're getting out of it. I did hear a lady on one of the videos that I was looking at. She said, this is a great way for her to travel. But now the person that was flying her out also gives her $2,000 or $3,000. So she doesn't even have a, I don't want to say the word real, but I want to say she doesn't have a traditional job or own a business. So the people that fly her out, they give her $2,000 or $3,000. They pay for her flight, her hotel, her everything. Or if they're flying her out and she's on their yacht, because I saw one of those videos this week, if they're on the yacht or whatever for 3 to 5 days. Now, she personally said, this girl said she didn't mind sleeping with them because they're protected, I guess. I'm gonna hope that she didn't mind sleeping with them because she have needs too, but she's making a living off of it. That if she meet up with 2-3 guys, and she's on some website, if she meet up with, and it ain't Tinder and all them lame sites, these are like serious sites where the money reside for real, that they are flying her out, paying for her, and so she's bringing in about $10,000 to $15,000 a month. And I don't know if that's on one guy or several. At some point I was like, this ain't my business. I was just watching the finesse. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you just want to know what's really going on, and you know you're never going to participate in that. You know you're not that girl. You know nobody's flying you out unless this is somebody that you are seriously considering dating. Also, I'll say to women who are having men fly them out, and I'm only going to speak from this perspective because I am a woman, and if somebody's going to fly me out, they would be a man. So I don't know about how the other gender roles work. When I say other gender roles, like I don't know how the LBGTQIA XY whatever. I don't know how they work things out, but as a female, as a woman, I hate that word female, as a woman, if a man was gonna want to see me or whatever, it would either be that you would come to my hometown and I would show you around and you would stay in a hotel or whatever, or we would meet in a mutual space where it would be a setup like was in my dream, or it would be a setup where I'm in one hotel, you're in one hotel. I'll tell you another story. Oh Lord, a long time ago. Whew. I had a good friend and we were friends for a long time. This person asked me to marry them a long time ago, and I simply said no, it would never happen for so many reasons. And this was a very well off man. But see, that don't run me. That doesn't rule me. That don't do it for me. You got to have other substance and elements and things to you. And so he said, well, he had a few friends that were getting ready to go to Las Vegas and he really wanted to go, but he felt funny going because each one of them had a date going with them or a wife or something like that. And he said, would you go to Vegas with me? And I said, you mean as your girlfriend? And he said, no, as my friend. I said, okay, yeah, because we're just friends. And then I said, well, I don't mind going to Las Vegas or whatever. I said, but I would have to have my own room or either be in a whole different hotel, and everything would have to be paid for. Like I'm showing up to have fun with, you and hanging out with your friends and stuff. And, there's no physical. I went through the whole thing. Like we're not even holding hands. We're not whispering in each other's ear, even if it's to say the Uber is, no, back then Uber wasn't even around. Not even to say the taxi is coming. Don't even whisper in my ear to ask if I want some hot French fries. Like, no, we're not doing that. So literally when we got to Las Vegas and there was like 3 other couples and they kept asking, oh my God, is this your new girlfriend? She's so beautiful. And he was like, no, we're just friends. We've known each other for a long time. She just wanted to come so that I wouldn't feel like a third leg to everybody, and just be like an outsider. She's just my friend. And everybody kept saying, mm-hmm. So anyway, one of his friends that was married tried to flirt with me, and I was like, no, don't ever. I will literally go tell your wife right now. So he was like, well, he said that you're not his girlfriend. I'm not, but you also have a wife and I'm not interested. My point of the story is when we got to Las Vegas and got the rooms and everything, because I had him send me everything, confirmations for everything. He sent me we rode to the airport together and everything. We were on the same flight together and everything. I mean, everything was just very friendly because I made it very clear up front before I even said, yes, I'll go. But we got to the hotel and the lady said, there's 2 separate rooms booked and y'all are together. I said, no, there's 2 separate rooms booked. We're just friends. We're not staying in the same room. She said, yes, I've got you on room number so-and-so and then him next door. I said, no, I'd like to be on another floor. So I think he was like on floor number 4 and I was on floor number 20. I just didn't want no confusion. Don't be trying to get the room with the adjoining door. So you tapping and rapping on it at nighttime, but I can't sleep. I don't play like that. So I was way up on floor number 20 something. They were way down on them. And so every evening after we got done in the casino, having fun, drinking, eating. And when I say drinking, I don't mean liquor. I mean, I don't drink liquor. They were drinking liquor. I would say, okay, I'm going on up to my room. And he would be like, you want me to, go to the elevator? Which, oh no, I'm fine. And then when I would get off the elevator, I would just punch any floor just so you didn't know I went to the 20th floor. I would even get off the elevator, get onto a different elevator, and then go up. Because you know, when you, I don't know if y'all noticed it now, but when you get on an elevator with somebody and then they get off, if they stand there and look at the number long enough, it'll tell them where that elevator stopped and then what floor you got off on. So then now they know you're on floor number 20. So if they want to come up to floor number 20 and be, you know, looking around and everything, they may catch you coming out to go get some ice. See, I be thinking so far ahead, you're not going to get me. So my point of that story is that you can do things with friends, but you just need to get everything clarified up front. Now, he gave me $2,500 to spend. Again, this is just a friend, but I known him for a long, long, long time. And I knew he always liked me, but I never liked him. It just, no. He gave me $2,500 to spend. He said, you can gamble with it, you can do whatever you want. I'm paying for all the shows. We go to all the concerts, all the food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, whatever you want. He said, let's go over to Caesar's Palace. He said, I want to show you something over there. And I didn't know at that time that Caesar's Palace had, they have like a mall type of situation going on in there where there's a lot of stores. So he said, well, look around. And we looked around a few stores. He said, is there anything in here you want? And I was like, no, I don't need anything. There was a purse that was like $500. I still have it today. I've never used it. I've never packed it. I've never taken it anywhere. It is still in the same bag. I cannot tell you the name of it, but it's one of these names that y'all know, like Balenciaga, I don't know name brand. I don't care about number, but this is why I don't pack the purse, because it is a name brand. And I don't like name brand. I don't want to carry a name brand to show it off. Like if it's got the name on there big enough for you to see it, I'm not packing it. I would rather unravel the seal off of it and let you guess what kind of purse before I would walk around with a purse that says a specific, you know, name on it. Or I don't like that. It doesn't feel right for me. You know what I'm saying? Like name brands don't excite me like that. I don't care. But anyway, he said, I could see you with this person. I was like, oh, and I looked at the price and it was like $599. He said, you like it? I was like, it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, I can't say I don't like it. It's gorgeous. He put it up on the counter. He paid for it. They put it in some fancy little bag and then some fancy little box and then some fancy little bag again and handed it to me. And I was like, thank you. You know, I was very appreciative. Thank you so much. And he said, now I'm buying this for you, but this is in no way saying like you owe me anything. He's like, I'm just saying thank you for coming along on the trip with me, because I feel great that I was able to do this, because he had never been to Vegas. He was like, I'm just grateful that I was able to do this with my friends without feeling like, you know, a third wheel. Did I say third leg earlier? Oh my goodness. I just realized I said third. I just realized I meant to. I meant to say third wheel. I need a break. He said, I'm just appreciative that I didn't feel like a third wheel, because we all had this was like maybe a couple of days before we were leaving. He said, we all have had so much fun. He's like, you know how much I work and I never get to go anywhere because I don't have anybody to go with. And the fact that you went with me, he's like, you just don't even know how this did for me. So I took a couple of more, not trips, but he used to go to an annual event every year by himself, and there would be like 300-400 people there. And he asked me one year, would I go with him? And I said, yeah, I'll go to the party with you. And I knew when I got there, it was going to be commotion, because certain women in there wanted him. And I knew it was, and then the fact that I was American and they weren't, I just knew it was going to be a commotion. But I showed up looking real good, smelling real good, face made up good. I was looking good and walked in. When I tell you, when I walked in the door, because I wouldn't let him pick me up or nothing. Nah, we don't do that. When I walked in the door, when he stood up, it was like when he stood on his feet, he was 8 feet tall. Now, he had gone to this event for over 10 years by himself, never had a date, never had a woman. And I showed up for him. He thought I wasn't going to come, but I showed up and sat there all evening, danced, made friends with all the people. And everybody was like, are you sure you're not his girlfriend? Are you sure you're not his girlfriend? Are you sure? No. And it's so funny because even when we were in Vegas, I took a whole bunch of pictures, but we never took pictures together because that was a part of the deal that I said, you know, we're not taking pictures together because I don't ever want anybody to, you know, get that confused. And also I don't want you to have pictures that you looking at later thinking this gonna be my way. I didn't want him to have pictures of me because, you know, people be doing stuff and you weren't gonna be doing stuff to my picture. Now you can take stuff and you can put in your mind whatever you want to put there. But I'm thinking like a Christian, not not like that. But so we didn't take any pictures at this event. I have not a one trace. Now I think I have a picture of me before and after, you know, how I looked and everything. But there was not a picture. Now if other people took pictures, that's fine. I don't know them. I don't know. But I did not take any pictures of us together, and it just never happened. But my point of saying this is that, you know, even though people fly you out and they do all these things for you, you still have to have it said to them up front that just because I'm doing this doesn't mean that I'm going to owe you sex later. I'm going to owe you anything later, any kind of physical contact, or owe you a relationship, or owe you anything. Because see, what would have happened if when she was in his house and she had her towel on, walking around his house after a shower and laying all in his bed, and he would have invited 4 of his other homeboys over and they would have all took advantage of her? Then the question still would have been, but you were here, you said that you were okay with it. Who are we to say that she did not say that she was okay with it? Because it's going to be her word against his. I don't know if she had her recorder on at the time, because again, we would have never seen this video if it was up to this young lady. He took the video even after she said, "Are you videoing me?" You heard at the beginning, she said, "Are you videoing me?" And he said, "Yeah, because I want the world to know not to fly you out." So he put all of this on video. She could have went. And see, this is the silence that I'm talking about, is that women and people, period, do this. They go and they get flown out. These embarrassing things happen. They can get assaulted. They can have all kinds of things happen to them and they don't ever tell anybody. If y'all have seen the video lately with the young lady by the name of Gina Tew, she is what they call an Instagram model, and she was doing, you know, videos. She was in rap videos. She was friends with Chris Brown and friends with Kodak. No, not Kodak. Anyway, Nick Cannon, all these people. Now, most of the world assumes because she was friends with them, she slept with them. She won't confirm or deny it, but she has slept with a lot of different rappers, where she came out to say that she has full-blown AIDS, and they're working on getting her T cells back up so that she can get back to a different status. Because typically by the time you get to the end stages of actually having AIDS, your body breaks down to the point that your organs are not being fed properly, and then that's how you die. But they've been working on her for, I think she said, over a year, and she went from 60 something pounds to, I think she's weighing 120 right now. And she's been all over YouTube telling everybody about her situation. But what I like that she said, that I hope people understand, is when they asked her, "Where did you get it from? Do you know?" And she said, "No, I don't know, because at one point when I moved to New York, I was homeless. And I stayed in different places. And I had a couple of tattoos done behind the, you know, dirty needles," is what she said. "And then also I stayed with a few people, and at a few places I got sexually assaulted." And they said, "Did you ever tell anybody?" She said, "No, I didn't ever tell nobody." Now, if this young lady had not been coming out now and dropping names of celebrities that she, Chief Keef, and people that she's been sleeping with all of these years for the last 10 years, because her doctor said she had to have had it in her system for more than 10 years, because now it showed up as AIDS instead of HIV. It went straight to AIDS. All the signs of her being checked to catch it when it was HIV, she ignored all the signs and said she never took care of her body or got any kind of testing or anything, but was continuing to sleep with people. Now listen, she never told anybody she was assaulted, and she used the R word a couple times. She was R worded a couple of times. I'm talking about real life. I'm not talking about something somebody read in a book. I'm not talking about, remember in the beginning, I gave you a disclaimer on that audio because I said, I don't know if this is even a real story, if it's a skit, or if it just was for YouTube or for blogs and all that stuff, or to just go viral. I said to you, I don't know if that's real or not, but we're going to talk about it anyway, because there's some tips you can use so that this doesn't happen to you. Well, the girl I'm talking about right now, this is real life. This is happening right now. This is real life. I know it's fun to be flown out somewhere. I know it's fun to get away from your daily environment and go to another place where you can have some fun and meet with friends and maybe hook up with a guy or two and, you know, have a little fun if that's the lifestyle you live. And I'm not saying don't do it. All I'm saying is be smart about it. All I'm saying is if you're going to be flown out, do it on your terms and book your own tickets and book your own hotel and book your own car and take some cash money in case something happened and you have to get out early. I'm not saying don't get flown out. I'm saying doing it smart. I'm not saying don't get flown out. I'm saying be careful with people that you hang around. Check them out a little bit better before you get in their space and they show you who they really are, which you should believe. I think the reason the guy didn't show his face is because he probably went back on his dating thing and flew somebody else out within the next few days that he probably could have flew out before her, but she was so willing, he went ahead and let her, because he said, if you listen, he said, yeah, I fly people out. I mean, think about it. You're a young man. You can get a beautiful, good looking woman, decent looking, hard working, just trying to get a man for $200 a whole week. You cannot even get a mechanical doll, because I looked at it, not for myself, but just in awe that this is being sold. You cannot even get a mechanical sex doll for $200 and something. They cost thousands. Yes, I'm nosy enough to have checked into it because I want to know, why would the men settle for the dolls? They can't talk back. They have no energy transfer. There's no warmth. I don't get it. But I think it's smart for me to know this is going on. Imagine if you go to some guy house, ladies, and you walk in there and little Sally Sue already sitting on the couch talking about, how are you? You're joining us tonight. Woo-hoo. What? Nah. And I do realize right now that there's a whole community of men right now who have sex dolls, that they actually get together and meet with other men with their sex dolls. Yes, I'm aware. I'm very aware. There's a whole meetup group for that. I'm very aware. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't have no problem with y'all, what y'all do. I look at it like this. People live their life. I'm gonna do mine. And if that means that I have to get rid of all of the crazy stuff out of it, and I'm gonna get rid of everything that seems weird to me. And when I say weird, I mean just like, what? That's all I have to say. Again, I'm not telling these ladies, I'm not telling y'all not to get flown out. I'm telling you to be smart. Fly yourself smart. If they're gonna pay for it, get the money up front. I will tell you, to end this, I will tell you, don't you ever fly yourself out. Don't you ever fly yourself out to go see a man. Don't you ever put your money down to go see a man. Don't you ever pay your own way to see a man, because a man that wants to see you will get you there. A man that wants to see you will get you there. All right, that's my story today on being flued. By the way, if y'all want to know where that came from, it came from one of the girls. I think it was Young Miami on the City Girls. And about a few years ago, she said something about being flued out. Now, flued out just means that somebody flew you out to them to either hook up, get to know, whatever. It just means that they got you to them. You were flown out. The word flued out is just so funny and so catchy that you say it so that people understand what you mean. They understand the joke in it all. So that's all I have to say on this topic. It literally has worn me out. It literally has just taken all my brain thought. I hope my girls don't do this. And if they do, I hope they do it smart. And about that little dream that I had, my bag already packed. Bye, y'all.
Hey, it's Miss Dawn. You wondering how you can support our show, Mother Daughter-ish? We have Cash App, we have PayPal, And we do have Vimeo. Support our show so that we can reach out to more women. Our goal is to reach and build a community of 1 million women. Why don't you come on and help us do that?